Jaguar's XKSS supercar icon, created in 1957 as a roadster conversion of the D-Type Le Mans winning legend. Just 16 were sold. Today they're worth millions. 9 others were destroyed in a factory fire. Now finally, their time has come. Project XKSS is back on. Join me, Mark Evans, behind the scenes as the missing big cats are born again. Almost there. But then this. They think it's all over. It is now.
Take the backs off, just let the backs go on.
It's the end of week 10, and the team is flat out with finishing touches. The first of the new supercar recreations is nearly complete. The target today is to test fire the engine. But first, the bonnet. It's been a beast to build. After its many modifications, finally, will it fit?
Yeah, bonnet should go straight on. Famous last words. You can guide him, I'll be careful with this side. You need to go underneath.
To enhance the car's aerodynamics, the bonnet was designed back in 1957 to cover the engine bay as snugly as possible, and that's created all kinds of problems with clearance.
Our main worry here is anything paint damage. It's the worst point of anything fitting the bonnet back on. One little slip and chip of paint and it'd need to be repainted, which would be a disaster for us really.
How's that?
Okay, perfect.
Oh, hang on, we've got a bit of foul here, just...
Everything's clear this side at the moment.
No, not here. Phil, you see this?
What?
Yeah, just there.
What we found is as the bonnet closes, there's a couple of places where it's fairly tight to bolts or nuts. So what we've got to do, a couple of small amendments, and then we'll be able to get it to close correctly.
So, yet again, the supercar's attention-seeking bonnet threatens to ruin the party. What a diva. But there's a benefit to having the bonnet back off again. Better access for the team to continue prepping the engine for its first start in the car.
It always is a nerve-wracking moment when you start one of these for the first time. A combination of all the parts coming together, it's sort of exciting, but it's concerning as well.
And we've got quite a crowd this morning.
Good oil pressure straight away as well.
That's it for now.
Don't tease us, Kev.
It was just running on the fuel that was in the carburettor, so that's great. That's a good result for now, so we're smiling.
It's a really good moment. At least as far as we'd be better once it was running properly, but in terms of once we've got it running completely, but at least we know the electrics work, we know everything works, it's up to pressure, so it's all good, yeah.
It's brilliant. We're nearly there. The interior is almost complete now. We've done our initial run-up of the vehicle. Hopefully next time you see it, we'll be out on the track and we'll be performing extremely well.
After a tantalising test fire and then 2 more weeks of fettling and finishing off, the newborn Big Cat is delivered for testing.
So we'll take it really easy to start with. We'll do some simple safety checks on everything.
You need to shake it down properly, put some proper miles on it just to prove things out, go back over the car, and it gives you sort of confidence in the thing anyway, because we've been around it and up close and personal with it for so long, and then to see it being able to stretch its legs around the track is brilliant.
Well, should we fire it up then and see what she's like?
What a sensational sound. No silencing, just straight through side pipes. So what he's doing now is he's heading off on just a short run. It'll just warm the engine up a bit, and a little bit of brake testing, checking the steering and so on, and he'll bring it back in and the guys will have a look around it, just check it's okay, because they just need to make sure everything seems to be working before they actually take it out on the track.
Feels all right. Idle's a bit on the low side, caused it to stall back there. Brakes feel good. The clutch, bit of air in there.
Feelings generally?
It's lovely. Just needs a few adjustments, which is a few adjustments. It's the clutch, get the air sorted. I want us just to take a look at the brakes, make sure the brakes are okay and all bled correctly. I sense it's just moving a little bit on the brakes. It may just be they're not bedded in yet. With just a little bit of play in the wheel bearing. To be honest, I'd rather it was a little bit loose and a little bit tight, but we'll just... their original design, these days hub assemblies come in, they go on the car, you don't adjust them at all. But with these, you know, they've got to build them, tweak them, set them all up, and then you need to run the car and see how the car beds in and how it feels.
That's absolutely fine, there's no leaks, nothing, is there? Superb.
Okay.
Everybody clear? Coming down?
Yep.
I think it's probably good to get it on the track then and do just an installation lap at sort of 50 miles an hour.
The Big Cat can now really stretch its legs for the very first time.
Listen for some wheel bearing noises on this bed there.
With any newborn car, there are always teething problems. But this isn't just any car. This is a high-performance, race-bred 1950s supercar. So the stakes are sky high. If things go wrong, it could be catastrophic.
Gears all working well.
The steering wheel wobble at all, is there?
Just try the brakes.
Feel good. Seems straight enough.
This must have been incredible.
And
It's actually incredible. It's very, very good. There's a few things we need to sort on it, but not a lot. Probably the clutch is the biggest thing, with the air in the clutch, which is great, because that's an easy fix. We pushed it slightly around the last corner there, only up to about 50 miles an hour.
We heard that. You can't hold it back.
I know.
It doesn't want to be held back, to be fair. It just wants to go.
Wants to go.
It's an amazing car.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
It's lovely. I can't believe how good that car is for a 1957 car.
We've worked round the clock to try and get the car built, and it's amazing now to see it out on the track.
I think everybody involved with it should be proud of it, because it's a masterpiece, really. It's just such a lovely vehicle.
This was one of the first supercars, if not the first supercar. And for those guys in 1957 to have created this monster against everything else of that period, it's just stunning. I just think it's a fantastic car, really do.
Back at base, the snag list is sorted, and after a 60-year wait, the first of the 9 lost supercars is reborn and showroom ready. It's been an epic engineering adventure. 2 years of planning and preparation, 3 months crafting the body shell and remanufacturing the all-new race engine and gearbox. 12 weeks painstakingly putting it all together. And this is the result. This is the point where I could tell you how brilliant this car is, but I think you should judge for yourself.